So this looks like a classic rate of change question. We have a ball that is thrown in the air, we need to get its height, we need to get its maximum height, and all those very familiar questions. So if questions like these are still a bit of a problem for you, then this tutorial is definitely going to help. Hi guys, Diva here from Bright Young Brains. So this question may seem a bit simple. However, remember, if you are working on slightly more complicated example and you get super stuck, feel free to send me a DM on IG at 0aesthetics_justmathematics, and then I will definitely be able to help you out on a specific question that you are working on. We get. So with this question in particular, the first one is pretty straightforward. With this question, they said a ball is thrown into the air and its height h above the ground after a certain amount of seconds is h is equal to -5t squared plus 25t plus 4. So that's the equation of the height of the ball if we know how much time has passed after it was thrown into the air. So if we're going to determine the height of the ball after 2 seconds, literally all we need to do is, in our equation for height, where t is, we are just going to throw 2 in there, and then we will have our height there. There we go. So this is telling us that after 2 seconds have passed, this ball is 34 meters above the ground. So the first one is quite basic, and this is all you would need to do for a question like that one, because we already have an equation for height if we know the time that is passed. So I just realized the whole time I had at the moment written there, where it was supposed to be at that moment. So with B, it says we need to get the velocity of the ball at that moment, as in at the moment when 2 seconds have passed. So if we're going to get the velocity of the ball after 2 seconds have passed, the first thing you want to remember is velocity basically refers to speed. You see I'm putting it in quotation marks because velocity is in a straight line, speed is a scalar, meaning that it can be in different directions, but this is not physics, so let's leave that. So they say here the velocity of the ball at the moment, we need to work that out. So with questions on the rate of change, if you're dealing with, for example, something like height and time, we technically know that the rate at which this ball is gaining height from the ground, we can think of that as literally the rate at which distance is being covered. And the rate at which distance is being covered refers to speed, because usually if your speed is high, it means you're covering distance at a much faster pace. If your speed is low, it means that you're covering distance at a much slower pace. So to not overly complicate things, with this particular question, if we're going to work with velocity, we said velocity refers to the rate at which distance is changing. Now with questions where you need to work out the rate at which something is changing, usually if you have a main equation like this one here, we have an equation that will give us height. And we said in our case, we need to differentiate this equation here. A differentiated equation of this equation will give us a rate of change question. Now, whatever we will be getting in that equation is the velocity of this ball. So once we've written that out, we'll obviously just go through that again so that it sticks and makes more sense. So we said for B, the first thing we want to do is to differentiate this equation. Now, once you have differentiated this equation, it is not a height equation anymore. This equation is now giving you the rate at which height is changing. So you see here, this is giving you height. If you differentiate it, it gives the rate at which height is changing. And we said the rate at which height is changing is basically the rate at which distance is being covered. Now the rate at which distance is covered is velocity. So if you do physics, this is slightly a bit easier for you. If you don't, well, the last few sentences are basically just going to help you out, because where this is going to give us the velocity of this ball, not things like the gradient or anything. well, technically, if this was a function, well, this would give you the gradient or whatever. But then for specific questions like these ones where you have specific keywords, height, time, velocity, all that, you want to keep in mind something like this. A differentiated equation of something like height and distance will be giving you the rate at which that object is moving. And the rate at which an object is moving is velocity. So yeah, we have a rate of change question or a rate of change equation. And this symbol here is going to give us velocity if we know what time we are dealing with. So we want the velocity at the moment after 2 seconds have passed. So after 2 seconds have passed, we can see that the velocity of this ball is just going to be 5 meters per second, because the rate at which height is changing is 5 meters per second, where time is 2 seconds there. So that's what you have to do for B. So with C, we need to get the maximum height of the ball above the ground. Now with questions where we need to get the maximum of something, remember we always say you need to differentiate once and equate to 0. Now it even makes more sense with a question like this one, because firstly in our case we have an equation for height here. If we differentiate this equation, we have a velocity equation. Now the thing is, we are going to make that velocity equal to 0, because when this ball reaches the top, its velocity is going to 0, because you're going to throw it up and then at some point the velocity is 0 and then it starts dropping back down. So the first thing is, let's get a differentiated equation for this graph, and then that differentiated equation we are going to equate to 0. With that being done, it will give us a value for t, as in that value for t will be the time where the maximum height is occurring, of which that value for t we will then be able to sub it into our height equation and get a value for height where the maximum height is occurring. So yeah, that may be a mouthful. So step by step, questions where they ask for the maximum of something, the equation that you have, you differentiate it and you equate it to 0. So let's do that. So this is what our differentiated equation looks like. And we said we know that this is a velocity equation, and we know the velocity when the ball is at the top. The velocity when this ball is at the top, or rather the velocity when this ball is at its maximum height, is just a 0. So getting a value for t here, this is what we have, 5/2. So 5/2, or 2.5 seconds, is the time or the moment in time where the maximum height is occurring. However, they want us to get the actual value of the maximum height, not the time when the maximum height is occurring. So if we're going to get the height itself, it means in our height equation, where t is, we need to throw the 5/2 and get a value for height. That in writing, we are seeing that there our maximum height is just 32.25 meters. So getting the maximum height, we said we need to differentiate our height equation once and equate it to 0. This is giving us the time when the maximum height is occurring. So that value for t, we then threw it into our height equation, and then we have gotten our height there. So this question now, D, says we need to determine the time taken to reach a downward velocity of 5 meters per second. So if they want us to work out the time taken to reach a downward velocity of 5 meters per second, keyword here is downward velocity of 5 meters per second, because we know that at the top our velocity there is a 0, and then on its way downwards at some point the velocity is 5 meters per second. They want us to work out the time that would have passed from being at the top to being at a position where its velocity is 5 meters per second. So for a question like this one, you don't want to overthink anything. What you want to keep in mind is that we, with our given expression, can have a velocity equation. Now in that velocity equation, obviously if we have values for velocity, it should be useful in some way in terms of us finding out a value for time. So the first thing I would do for a question like this one is to get an equation for velocity, of which our equation for velocity in this case, it is just the differentiated equation of this height equation there. So this is our velocity equation. Now with this velocity equation, we basically want to work out what is the time when the velocity is equal to 5. So simply put, where velocity is, just going to drop there 5, and then we are working out there our value for t is equal to 2. So the one thing that may seem a bit confusing is that this value for t here is not our final answer. So the reason we bluntly say that this is not our final answer is because we, from our previous question, know that the maximum height was reached after 2.5 seconds. So technically, we know that with this board, while it is going up, at some point the velocity is going to be 5 meters per second. And going down, at some point it is also going to be 5 meters per second. Yeah, because going up at some point it's going to be 5 meters per second, and then eventually 0. And then going down, it's going to be at some point 5 meters per second, and then it carries on going downwards. Now we know that this t being equal to 2, this is the time where it is equal to 5 meters per second while it was going up. So while it was going up, it took it 2 seconds to reach 5 meters per second. And then technically, between 2 seconds and when it reached the top, that was roughly half a second, because we know that from the bottom right to the top, that's 2.5 seconds. You see, 2 seconds to reach 5 meters per second, and then a half a second for it to reach the top. Now, technically speaking, a half a second later, it is going to be at 5 meters per second again, because with a scenario like this, when you throw a ball up and stuff like that, you almost want to just remember what a parabola looks like. So if at this point here, the velocity is like 5 meters per second, somewhere here, the velocity will also be 5 meters per second. And whatever time was taken to go from this distance to there, and then from this position back here, will be the same. So in the sense that we said, it took the ball 2 seconds to reach here, and then it took it half a second to reach the top. Now, half a second later, it is going to be going at 5 meters per second again. So if we are going to get the time taken to reach the downwards velocity of 5 meters per second, the time taken there is going to be 3, because to reach the first 5 meters per second, it took it 2 seconds. And then half a second later, it's at the top, because you see, the time that it reached the top is 2.5. So it was 2 seconds to get 5, half a second to get to the top, and then it will take half a second again to return to 5 meters per second on its way downwards. So D was roughly the most complicated question here, but you want to look out for stuff like that in an exam, because clearly 2 cannot be the answer, because 2 seconds, the ball is still going up, so it cannot be the time taken to reach the downward velocity. So the good news is with YouTube tutorials, you can always rewind and re-listen to whatever it is that you want to re-listen to, so that things make a bit more sense. So for rate of change, this was a proper good question, especially with all that we had to do here, especially how we said, because this ball was thrown up and it is eventually going to come back down, you want to think of how a parabola behaves. So rate of change questions, clearly they're quite chunky. And again, if you're working on slightly more complicated questions, just ask. Okay, just send a DM on Instagram to @0aesthetics, just mathematics. And then obviously, I'll definitely be able to help you out with that. If your question is like super difficult, then I literally like make a mini video of that question explaining all the steps that you need to follow to answer it. Not just the steps, like I actually do the actual thing and then upload it to my math page. And then you can have a look at it there over and over and over again for as long as you wish. So yeah, see you in the next video.